Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to jump on here. I'm gonna do a video for you really quick. Hopefully I'll be able to edit this all together and it'll make sense. If you follow me on Instagram or you've been following me here on YouTube for a little bit, you'll know that next year for my analog planning I'm using the Hobonichi Techo. This is the cousin, this is the A5 size, and I used to be pretty much strictly ring bound, and I know that the traveler's notebooks are like a very big trend in planning right now, and I really like the idea of the notebook covers. Although I'm really in love with this planner. I like how it lays flat. I've considered getting a traveler's notebook to fit this size, and that's something I may still do in the future, but I have this Filofax original nude patent that I've been in love with for the longest. I really haven't used it much because I've kind of babied it and really wanted, I worried a lot about scuffing and discoloration, but I decided I'm gonna try to go forward and remove the rings out of this, remove this whole ring mechanism, and it seems like that the cousin will fit in here really nicely. That the covers can slide very easily into these side pockets. So my hope is I'm going to be able to show you guys how I go about removing that ring mechanism and keeping this really, the binder really nice looking. And my hope is to keep these, instead of having holes, to keep these rivets here that hold the ring mechanism in. My understanding is that they are basically like a snap. It is a cup piece that snaps together, and my hope is that I can keep that bottom piece and flatten out what the top rivet snaps into to keep a nice, clean, neat look on the outside. So that's what I'm going to be doing in this video, is de-ringing this Filofax original so that I can fit this Hobonichi Techo cousin inside. If you want to see how I do that, just stay tuned. Hopefully this will be a pretty simple DIY, some power tools involved, so let's hope we can manage. So if you're interested in seeing, like I said, let's get right to it. Okay, so as you can tell, we've had a little bit of a change of scenery here. I'm working on my basement floor because I am going to be drilling and using a hammer. What I did is I went down and put down my my cutting mat, just kind of as a protection, and then I put down a towel just to hopefully protect the planner a little bit. And so what I intend to do is to drill out these mechanisms here. So like I tried to explain, I don't know how well that worked. Basically, this is a two-piece mechanism, kind of like if you think like a snap. So the interior fits down into a coupling from the exterior rivet here. So this kind of has an opening that this snaps down into. So what I'm going to hopefully do is drill this out and be able to remove this inside piece that holds the ring mechanism, take that out, and then keep this and flatten the inside to hopefully create a smooth surface. Maybe I will hot glue some felt or something like that over it to make it nice and soft against my planner. So what I did is I got a drill bit that, let's see if this will focus on here and I can show you. You can kind of see there's a very, very faint line here that shows where the edge of the mechanism, the two pieces meet. So I'm going to try to drill directly in the center of that, and because the metal is slippery and the drill bit is metal, I'm going to use kind of like a nail starter, and what I'm going to do is start a hole, so hopefully I'll be able to drill neatly and drill that out. So I'll show you how I'm going to do that. Hopefully my head doesn't get in the way of the camera. So let's see. So this is what I'm going to use. This would be used normally like to start a nail head or something like that. But I'm going to just hammer this to kind of start a little bit of a dent in the spot where I want to drill out. So hopefully I'll have kind of a more controlled drilling, and the drill won't slide around on the metal. So that's what I'm going to start by doing, is place this here. Sorry, you're probably going to hear my dogs bark. So that worked pretty well, actually. I'll show you what I did. So you can see I created this hole here. It went in pretty easily, so I'm hoping maybe I don't even have to drill that much. Just kind of widen that where I put that hole. Can see if we can see that hole. So that's what I'm going to drill out right now, and hopefully that will work. So let's try. I'm going to start at kind of a slow speed. Hopefully, I think I might actually need a larger drill bit. So it probably wasn't very evident on camera, but this whole piece here spun. So, ooh, and it feels pretty, this whole piece here started spinning. So I don't know if that's gonna work, but I'm gonna hammer out this other side here, and then let's see how that works from there. Look at that. I was able to pop this off, and I'll show you. You can see that that is the piece. Oops, let's get in frame here. Let's see if it's, you can see that it is a 2-piece rivet, and this one popped right out. So here is the other piece. You can see that it's loose. The whole ring mechanism already came right off. So this piece here, I'm going to see if I can turn it sideways and get a good shot. Kind of like popped up. I'm going to try to flatten that. I don't know how successful I'm going to be. My hope was that I would be able to split this open and flatten it against the binder, but I'm not sure that's going to work. But in the meantime, this side is still attached, so I'm going to go ahead and see if I can pop that side off. It really did happen a lot more easily than I had anticipated. So it almost feels as though a hammer and one of these little nail starter things is like a great way to go about doing this if you don't want to drill or you don't have a drill. So let's see if I can just pry this guy off. That would be ideal. And it's definitely lifting up, so I think, there we go. So there we go, I got this whole ring mechanism off. I'm gonna see if I can show you how these work. I'm just gonna remove it from here. Oh, yeah. So this is the part that sits on from the outside. This is the outside edge going into the planner, and then it kind of snaps down into this piece like so. They would meet. So I want to keep this part so I can have this nice finished backing instead of having holes, because otherwise, I'll show you. Otherwise, I would just have this hole here, and I want to keep that covered. See how this has a nice finished look. So what I'm going to try to do is hammer flat these sides that are sticking up. So that was fairly simple. I have to admit I was slightly intimidated, but it worked pretty well. What I'm going to do now, since I'm going to be hammering, is I'm just going to fold this towel so I have a little bit more padding to protect the planner. And I'm just going to try to hammer these flat. So let's see. I'm working on a nice hard concrete floor, so that probably helps. My thought is then I can put a piece of hot glue, some felt or something over them so that I have this. Oh no. Okay, so that didn't work very well. I don't know if you could see, but I kind of smashed them. Let's see if I can rectify that. Okay, so I'm gonna have to go to plan B because I kind of smashed them. But I just had a great thought. So I don't know if any of you ever scrapbooked, but I'm going to get some scrapbooking brads and put them through these holes. So let me go grab that and show you. Okay, so like I said, I'll show you what I did here. I've removed now the outside that I had kind of hoped to keep them, but the metal was pretty soft. I think that's why it came apart so quickly, and it kind of damaged those outside. I really flattened them, but I had a thought. If any of you were scrapbookers, which I'm sure a lot of you were, I have these scrapbooking brads that are like gemstone on one side, and so the way a brad works is that it goes, usually used to attach paper, and it goes, punctures between the two pieces of paper, and then you separate these prongs to hold them together. But I think, as luck would have it, these would look really cute and are the right size to cover these holes by just putting these brads in here like so. And then I have a little bit of added sparkle, kind of custom. I think it looks pretty cute, actually. Pleased I thought of that idea. So then I would just flatten these out to secure them. And then what I'm going to do is just go ahead and cut a piece of felt here. And I can just actually line the whole spine with a piece of black felt that I'm going to hot glue onto here. And I think that is a perfect way to have removed the ring mechanism and to reuse this to hold my Hobonichi. So I'm going to go plug in my hot glue gun and cut myself some felt and see how that works. Okay, so I just went and found a piece of just black crafting felt that I had in my craft stash, and I cut a approximately 1-inch strip that would fit exactly down the center here, the spine. So I'm just going to apply some hot glue to this, and then I'm going to tack it down. Kind of give me a nice finished look, and it'll keep those brads in there nicely. So I'm actually gonna run my bead of glue down the spine here. Don't you hate when the glue doesn't keep up at the speed of the glue gun, what you're doing? Drives me crazy. Okay. And I'm just gonna, I think I'm gonna run a couple beads down the center just to give it a little bit of support. Okay. So that was far simpler than I anticipated. I might give that a few minutes to dry, but I'll show you what I did here. Oops. So there we have it. I just hot glued this piece of felt down the center. There's the brads on the outside so that there's no holes, just a nice finished look. with a little bit of sparkle with those rhinestones in there. We'll go move to a new location and throw my Hobonichi in here and see what that looks like. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with the results of removing the ring mechanism. So let's go.